Good evening. I'm so glad to be here. I've been in Cyprus last year with a same subject, but this year we have some news about it. So, if you need to take a glimpse of what's coming in the future, all you have to do is to take a look at the back. So, you need to understand how history works. This is the Library of Alexandria. Once it was the biggest library of human knowledge. In there were about 20,000 scrolls. There were some papyri in there. The medium was carefully chosen because of its immutability. That means that it was able to be sustained throughout the centuries until it wasn't immutable anymore. This is the burning of Alexandria. All this knowledge is now gone. History has another aspect that is very, very critical. It tends to repeat itself so that we get the reminder. This is Brazil's National Museum. In September 2018, a great disaster caused by common fire. So let's jump into blockchain time. These are the use cases for blockchain right now. We're going to focus on a specific one, which is the decentralized storage that provides immutability of records by replication all over the participants. Blockchain as an immutable storage medium so that we can revolutionize data storage and use the immutable records in order for, never lose the information. But do we really need an AI on blockchain? Those are the buzzwords, AI and blockchain. Where we should focus this year? Blockchain, it will change everything. Everybody is talking about it. The potential applications are endless. We don't want to be left behind. What exactly is a blockchain? Also, artificial intelligence. It's very difficult to explain what happens in both fields. Let's talk about some very interesting facts as far as concerns AI. It's not something new. It became an idea and materialized in the 1950s. In 1980s, machine learning concept was first introduced. And by 8 years before, deep learning techniques were first initiated. And we had some pretty interesting results. The basics is, instead of having a programmer, or if you like, an expert writing a program for you, you use a deep neural network with a data set so that it can be trained for doing the same job. It's much easier and more efficient. We use deep learning in everyday life so that it's been used in internet services, medicine, media, entertainment, security and defense, and recently autonomous machines. That means that your car is using it so that it can figure out if a pedestrian is walking in front of it, and so forth. This is what the big companies are materialized so far. Google, Apple, Facebook, Intel, everybody has at least one AI implementation with various fields of interest. They all have something in common, which is centrality. That means that they are all centralized. Last year, in the same conference, we presented a paper about how to implement an artificial intelligence on the blockchain. This year, I'm very happy because we already have the code for it. That means that using a cellular automaton, rule 110, we can actually have Turing completeness within smart contracts. This is the code being done in waves. You can find it online. 3 guys, Alexander Chepunoi, Vasily Karin, and Dmitry Meskov, were the guys who invented that. This year, we have at least 10 or maybe more AI projects on blockchain. I'm an advisor on Thought Live project, which is a very interesting idea. It's based on a central blockchain, and it uses side chains to use machine learning on them. Singularity Net, you all know it, Sophia, very much hype. You know, Bitcoin Cash also has an AI built in, and Bitcoin, but in Bitcoin Cash, it's actually usable. A decentralized data exchange protocol, Ocean protocol, Cardano, Ethereum, and finally, a decentralized grid computer. You may know it, it's called Elastic. You can find it in excel.org. All these can be used in order to materialize an AI on the blockchain. So why should we? Because of deep learning on the blockchain. You can use blockchain tokens as money to make transactions. And then you can use blockchain as a storage to gather all transactions together. And then you use the artificial intelligence so that you parse those data and be able to make some meaningful results. And then you do deep learning. This is the way that both technologies can be bonded together, and there is a reason for that. You can use data from IoT, weather data, web security, stock market, historical records, scientific methodology, anonymous voting, medical analysis, and finally, you can even do assisted governance. That means that it can derive what's the best result for something that has to do with society. At the end of the day, you have an unbiased version of truth because tokens are money, and your money is your truth. You cannot lie about it. The goal is to construct a brain-inspired artificial intelligence, which we call also artificial general intelligence. So the first phase is blockchain tokens as money, and then at the end of the day, you exchange that tokens, that money, with information. This has already been happening today. Many speakers before me have already said it, that it is possible to utilize an AI in order to have prediction results for something that you can make money with it, for bots or something that is being a trader on stock market. So information will replace money. This is how we do it. A human mind is a set of small world networks. That means that we have clusters all over in our brains, synaptic clusters. On the blockchain, we're trying to do the same thing. We use small world graphs so that we have from small world graph isomorphism, which in essence means that each node is able to know what the other nodes know. So there is a homogeneity in information. This is a representation of the construction as a network. This is a small world cluster. It is remarkable how similar this looks with the known universe. Finally, SpaceX and Tesla has announced that there will be something that will bond AI with the human brain, which is something I find very, very interesting. It's an old story. Alter Ego already does it. This device is letting you talk to your computer without saying a word by using an intelligent augmentation device. Mr. Makridakis said about it in his keynote. In essence, you don't have to speak. It understands you. And this is how you build an AGI, global interconnected information. You build an artificial general intelligence. If you ask every data scientist out there, everybody will say that the most important, the most critical aspect in this field is to build a good data set. So this is the first aspect why we should insist that this thing can be built on the blockchain, because the data set is your money, is your truth. You cannot lie about it. You already have a huge amount of data sets in the internet right now, but can you tell if it's true or if it's a lie? This is the take-home message from this keynote. I hope everybody understands it. If you have such an entity, it is crucial that the artificial intelligence does not belong in only one entity. Everybody should use it, and everybody who wants it must be able to use it. If artificial intelligence only benefits a selected few, everyone loses. This is the fire of Prometheus. Thank you.
Questions?
So this is a topic that scares a lot of people. What's your opinion? Where will it lead and how will it impact us?
Well, like I said, it is crucial that everybody will be able to use it, to use this technology. Because imagine that you are a country with bad intentions about another country. What happens then if you have such an entity in your hands? The other loses. So I think this is the most important aspect from this keynote. Something like that is already being built. I'm not going to lie to you. And it's going to be soon. This is exponential curve. It's going to be materialized within the next maybe 3, 5, 10 years. I surely hope that we are capable as a society to accept something like that and be able to control and get the best out of it. Another question? Please.
Let's wait for the microphone.
It was indeed a very, very, very interesting presentation. Thank you so much for that. We do admire your brain and your point of view and the examples that you have given. So thank you for that. Furthermore, I would like to ask your opinion with regards to the Singularity Project.
And the A.G.I, you mean? The Singularity Project. I think this is the one, yes. Well, I think that they're going through a certain path that will be able to be used from everybody. So they are building it on a blockchain. So they're using the technology that is able to be utilized by everyone as long as they use it as tokens. Are they using the money that is being utilized as, let's say, asks some questions for getting some answers? Because let's be brief and explain it a bit further. If you have an A.G.I that is able to analyze your DNA sample, right? It can derive information that you are sick or you're okay, right? So this needs to be, from the bioethics point of view, this needs to be also encrypted and be private, only for you. You need blockchain for that. You cannot trust any other entity. Or you can trust a guy in the street. Will you do that? Thank you. Other questions?
Thank you for the presentation. It's a great shame that these centers of knowledge, like the Brazilian National Museum and the library in Alexandria, got burned down. But it's perhaps even sadder that, if that information did remain, we probably wouldn't know what to do with it. Therefore, do you think there is an opportunity for AI, once it has matured, to look back on historical records and access all this information from the past, which we currently don't use? And what do you think that could look like if it did harness that opportunity?
You mean passing the historical records?
Records and data to...
Well, I'll tell you what I told in the very beginning of the slides, right? History is the way to look into the future. It tends to repeat itself. We are following great cycles. If you look at the past, all you will see is certain events with a different actor have been reproduced all the time. We as species have very short memory, so that we forget whatever disaster was out there before. And guess what? History repeats it for us to remember. So this is very important for me. Very important to be immutable. History must be immutable so that we can forward our civilization. Thank you for the question. It was a good one.
One final quick question.
Yes, hi. You mentioned, as well as other talks in the past, about intelligence augmentation and technologies that exist today that combine the capabilities of AI
Yes.
with humans, which I think might be just the biggest step in our development as a species. I do have a question about that and where we can find out more information about this, because AI has a lot of buzz, but IA is a bit more difficult to find information for. Also, do you know any programs that accept guinea pigs? Because I'd be down for that.
I think you should contact Elon Musk because he's really done some great progress on the
I
matter.
tried,
Yeah.
he wouldn't.
I don't know the guy, but I really want to meet him as well, yes.
Okay, well, no, but what do you think would be the most prevalent and soon to be here technology that will help us with?
All right, because
IA.
I've done some research on this, all right? So we tend to understand how the human mind works via MRI, and now we know that certain areas of our brain are lit every time we think of something, right? So if I want to move my right hand, a certain area in my brain will be, let's say, initiated to work more than the others. So this is the way they do it. They actually monitoring the micro voltage that is being used inside your brain, and they use those brain waves in order to get a prediction of what you're thinking. This is a preliminary way to do it. The other ways are invasive. I don't want to go there, really. I think that you can do it much more easily with technology. And as the technology utilizes more nanotechnology, this thing will always get better and better. So we have the ability to utilize our human brain in order to advance an AGI. So this is a crucial thing I want to state here. This AGI will not be conscious. This is impossible. And I can explain why in the intermission. I think I'm
Great.
done.
Thank you. Yeah, hey, thanks, Costa.